Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to Jay's Brain Chamber. I know it's been a minute. I appreciate everybody holding on. I appreciate everybody watching tonight. Tonight is a good night, great night. It's been a blessing too. I'll explain about that as well, about the blessing from the higher power. We'll talk about that in the next episode. But I want to also let y'all know we got my brother Red in. He came in from Minnesota to be on the Brain Chamber to stop through on his way to Texas. Red, let us know a little something. Give him a little something on the update. Y'all know how to push.
Well, yeah, y'all know I'm the truck driver. I be on the road, but I always stop by, holler at my family, and we gonna get it in tonight.
Y'all already heard it. You know what it is. Straight heavy chopper tonight. We got my brother Big Benny in the house. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate I had to call him out. He was out in the forest hunting for more jewels, but he got a basket full. So here we is tonight.
Peace and love, fam. Hopefully that it'll be a little edification tonight. And if you get offended, that's okay. Do it with love, okay? Just hit them thumbs up when you do that, all right?
You know what they say? When we get in that realm, if you read the Bible heavily, he said, those who have an ear, let them hear. It's the only way that can happen to you if you're confused because you didn't have an ear to hear. Then we got my brother on the end now. Y'all already know he was on the show before. He's back now off the road. He drive trucks. My brother X.
Hey, how y'all doing? Peace and love.
You heard him. Now I'm finna get in the mud. Tonight, it's straight just what you thinking. I want everybody to pause for a minute. All over the country, all over the world. Whatever area you at, whatever you're doing right now, I want you to stop, think, analyze your area, analyze what you're doing, get an understanding of your position and your path in life right now. A lot of us on a path that we think is our path, but it's really not your path. That's difficult. Brother Red finna pop it off tonight. Started off, we talking about, you already know, racism.
Well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about racism. We don't want to get it confused with prejudice, because prejudice means you hate something, you don't like something. You can be prejudiced all you want to.
So what does racism mean?
Racism is when you own something, when you got wealth. Money is not wealth.
So what is wealth?
When you got power, when you can sit in the seat and say you're hired, you're fired, goodbye, this your last day, anything of that note.
Okay.
That's wealth. When you got that, then that's when we're going to come together as a nation. We ain't going to be cutting folks out. We ain't going to let the little crumbs that they throw at us cross all our brothers and sisters out, which everybody know that's happening.
True.
That's part of racism.
True.
It's a race. People came here from 1859 over here to get free land. Them people call freeloaders. But they say people like me, you, anybody else out here getting government assistance, anything, that's freeloading, right?
Right. That's what they say.
But freeloading is when you come over here to get something and you ain't paid nothing for it. But you done worked on my back, my ancestors' backs, to get where you at. They 32 to 1. So they already ahead. That's why they people are ahead of our people right now. It's a race. They already at the finish line. We still at the start.
So how do you reach your people so they can come together and get ahead?
Well, for one, they got to understand that they're in a race. First off, don't nobody think they're in a race. They going out here going as long as they get you got billionaires, you got millionaires, thousandaires, and folks like me that just work hard.
Right.
All us in the same boat. We're in the same race. We still at start.
Just cross the line.
Why they still up there? They shot the gun a long time ago.
Right.
We still stuck right here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's racism.
Very critical there.
You go outside, folks get shot up. Folks that look like me. Everybody know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's racism. We ain't got the power to stop that.
So what do we have the power to do?
Get back in the word. Understand that we are the high power in getting the race.
Back under that law system. Back under that law system. That's
So
very
now you're
important.
referring back to the law.
Right.
I done set it up.
Right.
So
Go ahead, brother X. Go ahead.
So now, therefore, read and refer to the law. So what is the law? Is what many people are asking. What do we follow? You know, because we're lost as a nation.
Okay.
You know, so therefore, what do we have to guide us?
Start with the 10 Commandments.
That's a very good start.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
So now, so now that's the law, and we start with the 10 Commandments. So how do we proceed to break it down? Therefore, common folk such as us can understand it.
First, you gotta read it.
Well, that's true. So I'm gonna ask Brother Benny to give us an insight on the 10 Commandments and the breakdown of the 10 Commandments, of the law, you know what I'm saying, and the spiritual, and also as you living today to give you a different type of insight on it, besides just reading.
We're gonna start. We're gonna jump to that, but we're gonna start of this race.
Okay.
Because this race need to be understand a little deeper.
Okay, come on with it.
400 years we behind in this race.
Okay.
We talk about power. If we 400 years behind, it's very, very, very hard to get the same exact power that they have today.
True.
So now, what is the power? What do they own? They own all the land. They own all the merchants. They own everything, the distributing, everything that we need. This shirt, we don't even own a shirt factory where we can even sell the shirt to our people. And even if we own or got a shirt factory, we don't have a manufacturer. We don't have no one that can grow the cotton or whatever we need to produce the material for the clothes that we wear.
That's true.
So now when you're talking about
That's true.
how far we behind and what is the fastest route to get us to this specific point, right? To catch up.
Okay.
Because let's just take out the money for a second. Let's get away from the money issue. Because we got one problem that we need to really, really get together before we even talk about money. We need to understand one another, who we are as a people.
Right.
See, because if we talk about law, then we have to understand why do the law doesn't apply to everybody else, but just us. Because we talk about, I've been on here a few times, and I'm always talking about codes and laws. Jay talk about codes and laws. Red talk about codes and laws. X talk about codes and laws. We always talking about codes and laws, but for some reason, we don't get the point on why it's so important to us. Now, y'all know I read the Bible, and I'm gonna read something to you. Now, this is the Creator who created the different nations. So we can get into whose nation were this person, Ishmael. We can get into who is Shem, Japheth, Ham. We can do it all and break it all down. It's right here in this book, right here. But let me just tell you why the law apply to us and why it's important to us. Here's go Deuteronomy 10 in verse 15. This is what the Creator said. He said, only the Lord had delight in your fathers to love them and chose their seed after them, and even you above all people as it is this day. So what I just say? The Creator who created everything, said, only your forefathers who I delight into. These are the ones that I came to. These are the ones I gave my statutes, laws, and commandments to. We have to understand that it's nations. All this divide, all this other extra stuff that we be on, at the end of the day, it's nations. Psalms 83:1. Read it for yourself. Until we get and understand who we are as a people, guess what? We're going to always be falling for the trick. Ain't you tired? Ain't y'all tired of it? What you got to lose? I'm just asking the question. What do you got to lose?
But a lot of people don't know what the trickery is, though. The
trickery is this here. You don't even, look, check this out. You're not going to figure out all the tricks. I don't know all the tricks. But guess what? I know who I am as a people. See, that's make the difference. I know who I am as a people.
And that's one of the tricks right there. That's important. That's the main.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't know who they are.
And this is the very reason why I say let's not worry about the money at this moment.
Right.
It's very, very important. We can get on these topics. Right. But let's try to get the core things together. Because guess what? What if, and it's happening, what if when they take the money from you? What if they start taking the food from you and the water? What you gonna do to a person that look like you next door? Is you gonna just go and run up on him or her and say, I gotta eat and take theirs? If they got a little bit, you're gonna be a rebel in the neighborhood? Guess what? It happened once before to us. It happened once before to us. So that's something that you ought to take in consideration. What you gonna do when everything taken from you? And the only people that got something or you think may have some live right next door to you. What you gonna do then?
I want to say this here though. That is real what you said there. And I want to say this here right now though. That if you look at the news and pay attention to the communities and look at what's going on across the nation. True. This is happening right here today. Brothers are robbing friends. Sisters are setting up brothers that have befriended them. Good brothers. Right, but why? Because you know why? Just like he just said. If you look at it, we live in that life now. Some of these brothers ain't making nothing, ain't got nothing. Some of the sisters ain't got nothing. They willing to take what you got, walk right up on you and take what you got. And then we'll look at it, and some of the people out here, you know what I'm saying, we'll jump into politics real quick, not too much, but real quick, but we will circle back around it to get deeply on it. And also, I got my sister out there too. Sister can tell you, I want you to also let us know the date of that action. About them going on strike and everything for $15 an hour minimum wage. Now, if you look at it, they are fighting for $15 an hour minimum wage, which is roughly $30,000 a year, which is really, in reality, it's really, you know what I'm saying, not really actually enough to live, but enough to at least get over the hump.
Excuse me.
It don't even exist.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, so it don't even exist.
It don't even exist.
So you fall back in the 20,000 some bracket. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just the first edge of taxes. You know what I'm saying? The first edge of taxes put you beneath 30,000. You know what I'm saying? So now, if you in the 20,000 bracket, we ain't even talking about your living expense. We ain't talking about your living expense. You see what I'm saying? We ain't talking about your responsibility. See, your living expense and your responsibility is two different things. Right. We know, which everyone, I'm pretty sure, understand that. So now, them chunks out of that 20,000 a year. 20-some thousand. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to go down all the way down to about 24, 26,000 when you get through. So you still bracket, you still roughly at about $10 an hour. You know what I'm saying? But when they don't want to pay $15 an hour and say you deserve this, that's making it very, very difficult. So now we're wondering why. What he was explaining, and when these times come, these times is happening right now.
System designed to keep the man on his back.
Let me give y'all another example of what you're talking about, Brother Jay, and mix it back in with this race factor.
Go ahead. Okay.
Everybody know Bill Cosby. You know Bill Cosby out there too, though.
Right.
What did he get locked up for? I'm just asking. Simple question.
Rape from years ago, and from my understanding, reading the report, is that that person, he paid that person because he just didn't want the propaganda. He didn't want it thrown out there. So he paid the person out, so the person never supposed to came out. Not that he did anything, because he was making some moves.
There it is.
See,
that's what I want. That's what I was finna
That's
touch on.
the
That's what I was finna touch on. See, he wanted to buy NBC. Everybody know the Cosby Show was one of the best shows ever. They would eat Jello, putting pops out his ears.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby was just a friendly Cliff Huxley. You say that name, that's not intimidating. When he wanted to buy NBC, don't y'all think that he was trying to move our race up so he can put them shows back on television?
Did with colleges.
And they told him, hell no.
Yes.
And put some charges on him. Some charges on him. Them women look like me.
Yeah.
You know how to get nobody no drug.
But you know the strange.
Want to know why? We already know Bill Cosby had money, right?
Right, but you know the strange part about that?
Yeah.
Is you knew. Now this is right here.
Yeah.
Go to. This is why I love it so much when we chopping on so much. You know what I'm saying? Here it goes right back over here.
There we go.
Cause see now,
Yeah.
if you understand and know this,
Yes.
you know law. Law tells you not to sleep with somebody else's husband. This is a married man. So first of all, once you stepped over there, you already knew. You were under no type of law. And how did you expect anything to come out of, once you lawless, how do you expect any good to come from lawless activity?
And just to piggyback again, what I just said, when I just read in Deuteronomy, only you who are delighted, only you who I gave the law to, only you. Now people might say, you know what I'm saying? That's not right. You know what I'm saying? How God just gonna just do it to you? Well,
Right.
Look who we've been following for many, many years.
See, I gave you the law to lead the nation.
See, we've been following laws for everybody. We follow whatever law that is in our community. We flow with it. I don't see what the problem is now. If that now we want to change and say, wait a minute, this been taught to me wrong. This never should have been in my community. None of that should have been there. So what's the problem now that if we decide to really, really look into the law that it was given to our forefathers, what's the problem? See, the problem is because you know what comes with their law? Now what comes with their law, fam, is this. Everything that the Most High took from you, you gets it back. That's the problem. The problem is that once we start ruling, once we start rolling in this law, guess what? We're not going to treat them like they treated us. Because guess what? We ain't going to have to. They're going to want to do right. Because a lot of people really want to do right. But they ain't got the law. The law wasn't given to them. So they're going to flow. And why is they not punished? It's afterwards. Why we punished? Because we are a chosen people. And to understand these things, you got to get into this specific book that everybody running us away from and said it don't belong to us, and it does. It's going to get you on point. What are you afraid of? Everybody seems like they're afraid of change to me.
Okay. And then
control the world.
I want to add on to that, sister. I'm finna definitely get with you. You had your hand up, sister. And what you were just saying about that law is very important. It's because when you were saying that when it's given to a particular people, and we could debate on that all day. But if you pay attention, certain people was appointed to certain positions to do certain things on this land. Some of us harbors, some of us builders, some of us teachers, some of us leaders, some of us sit back and collect wisdom. Some of us are guidance. You know what I'm saying? Some of us give directions, and some of us that's an example of being under law. So if you look at certain people outside of you, they ain't did nothing to you, but one thing they did is stay under law. You know what I'm saying? Do you wonder why? Oh, that person that never had no problem. They don't have no problem. This is under law. So when you're the law, it takes you away from that. It gives you a mentality to be able to see that. So
it boils down to following man's law or following God's law.
Okay, we're finna get to that. We're finna definitely get to that. You hear the point there. Hey, you hear the point there, because that there is a critical conversation. Go ahead, my sister, right there.
So, because y'all talk a lot about law and refer back to the book, which is the Bible. So for folks like myself,
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I'm not necessarily drawn to read the Bible. When I started to go on my spiritual journey, what gets me though is that I created an altar, but it did have a Bible on it.
Right.
With all my ancestors, the people who have passed away. I personally I would listen to my higher self. I was drawn away from TV. I cold turkey everything I did, from stopping my addiction, from pills, from stopping smoking cigarettes, cold turkey. Everything I've done was just completely cold turkey. I woke up, I don't want to do this anymore, eating meat. So for me, it's harder. Like, I spent a lot of time, probably like 7 hours a day by myself, just praying. But when I prayed, I would be praying more to my ancestors, less to like God, or what's referred to as God or Jesus in the Bible, just more like my ancestors, So, so for me, it's like, because I have been getting pulled to you have to read the Bible on a spiritual level, like you should read the Bible still. But how do folks like myself who have not necessarily read the Bible or read these laws, because I do, like, y'all are spitting some real stuff, but a lot of people like myself have not heard all of these laws, the commitments, or if I have, it was when I was younger, because I grew up in church, but it's things that it didn't stick with me, So, but still, when I started getting pulled to on my spiritual journey, I was not necessarily reading the Bible. I just was praying, meditating heavily in that. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, how do folks like myself get drawn back to reading the Bible and going by the law? Because
hold on. What we're gonna do? That's why I love this panel. We can't get.
You said you was praying to the ancestors, right?
Oh, go ahead.
That book talking about your ancestors.
Okay.
Do you feel it is working?
Yeah, I mean, heavily.
You already drawn to it. You just ain't read it yet.
So one of y'all spoke of if we were to had to go without this, and that, and I had all of these things, will we go and take from our neighbor? Me personally, I have discipline. I wouldn't take from my neighbor. I'll build my own.
There you go. I like that, but that's why you get to know your neighbor also.
That too. Everybody necessarily are not working on their self in the inside. So it's like, if I was to go to my neighbor, or they're in a position where they help me, if I'm asking for help, Some people ask for help or cry for help, but don't necessarily get that help. So for me, it's a little bit different, because I didn't necessarily, I asked the ancestors, and it's funny you say it, because I never knew things like the ancestors are in the Bible. You see what I'm saying?
Right, give me your forefather.
Exactly.
Yeah. Brother, you want to add on to it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. That's why I was letting you know that you don't know. You was already drawn to it.
Right.
Because you started to pray.
Brother Big Benny, he gonna add on to it as well.
And see, remember when I just read out the Bible, in Deuteronomy 10 and I believe that was 19. I just say that when the Most High say, I delighted in you and your fathers. So he telling us already, I delighted in you and your fathers. So he's talking about the past. And for as the dietary law, this is dietary law in Leviticus on what to eat, on how to eat clean foods. Even if you don't eat no meat, it's telling you exactly to clean, because you have to deal with like-minded people. See, because if you don't have a person that's like-minded that understand you, then it's just not going to make any sense at all. So guess what? You have to find the people that understand what you understand. And that can go like you got, like right now in Florida, they got a church of Satan. Now you got everybody they didn't pass the law of a church in Satan, that you can go to church in Satan. They say there's nothing wrong with it, but they all on one accord, so they don't see anything wrong with it, right? So the thing is, now think about that for a minute. Here go a church of Satan that's in Florida that people can go to, Lucifer, and they able to pass out flyers to the kids the same way that you can pass out flyers in the Bible. They can do this. Yeah. So the question now is, and see, you're talking about this is why we have one Pacific route. See, that's the game they've been throwing at us. See, the game they've been throwing at us is to try to keep us divided with every type of doctrine. This is why if you go into read the 10 Commandments, you ain't got to read anything else. I always say it. You could just start off with that. It's going to be something that you're not going to understand, like a couple of scriptures that's going to be in the commandments. And please, with the 613 and 6, all this other extra stuff, that's a whole nother topic. You don't even got to do the 600 and something. You could just deal with the 10. And for the New Testament people, only thing you got to do is deal with is the fruits of the Spirit. And let me tell you something else. The New Testament fruits of the Spirit, the 7 Galatians, that's talking about dealing with the 10. So this all come in one. And remember this here, Christ, before the New Testament was even written, Christ was quoting things from the Old Testament. The New Testament didn't get written until after he had left. And now, you know why that was written? Because the children of Israel was getting back into their flow. That's what this was about. This is how, so all this confusion things that people telling you about is different. The New Testament, the Old Testament is 2 different books, and it's all this here. That's not true.
Okay. I'm finna get you.
Did I ask you a question?
Y'all did.
I want to say this here real quick, sis. Just hold your thought right quick. I want to say this here and put everything together and get this here to you. When he said that, he said your ancestors. He said it was delight. The thing is, it's already in you. The only reason why you made those moves cause your inner knows law. See, you had separated from the flesh. So when the flesh failed, it was useless. The only thing you had to hold on to was the inner, and the inner knows law. And the connection that you had to law is what been installed in you thousands of years before you. That's why he say, I chose you out of the womb. You know what I'm saying? That when they say that, we research now. It's way before you. When they go into Jonah, when they go into Moses, when they go into Daniel, when they go into Lot, when they go into all these famous people, David and all these stories, at the end of the day, it was some in them by law, and there was some came to them through law that was operating already in them, like Paul. You know what I'm saying? When it was Saul, it all referred back to law that was already in them from, I can't tell you, before we weren't even thought, this didn't even exist. You know.
And just let me elaborate a little more on that.
Go ahead.
Just when you decided See, the key part is to change. Whatever was going on in your life,
True.
and you decided, like, you know what? The one thing that you took that can change, and you took it and you ran with it, and it changed your life. Okay, this is what you call where these were specific steps. I started off as a Muslim. Okay, I started off as a Muslim.
I did too.
You know, and then from a Muslim, I went to a Sunday church. From a Sunday church, I went to a 7-day Adventist church. So this goes to show you this journey. That regardless of whatever was thrown at me, the darks that was thrown at me, I never gave up, because this is one thing I always thought. We gotta be something different for everything to been thrown at us, and we still surviving.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes, the most critical thing thrown
and
on
we
you
still
is
surviving. And we still moving, and we still getting up, and we still, no matter what the situation is, we still moving. Now watch this here. When we talk about nation, let me tell you how important that is based on the law. Because see, the nation, peep this here. Notice that the only thing that's been taught to us based on the schools, and 90% or maybe 99.9, maybe 75% is how to serve. That's it. You serving cannot make a nation. You understand what I'm saying? So the question is, you have to think in your mind, is like, how come we always taught how to serve? Why we not taught how to build? When we learn how to build, this come a personal thing that we take on. Like, you know what? Yeah. I ain't finna do this. I want my own business.
That's right. That's real.
When I want to look, we'll focus and say, like, you know what? I'm not finna do that. I'm finna get my own business. Well, man, and we flow at it and we go. So guess what? Why is you thinking about a business? Ain't that a nation? That's the nation building. That's why, because it's already inside of that. We see that there's some gain that's thrown at us. You cannot be a nation if you serving.
So true.
You can't. And then don't talk about, okay, we got lawyers. How many? Who represent us? Do the CBC represent us? Who represent us? We got doctors. Who represent us? Some of us don't like medicines. Some of us like herbal stuff. Where that doctor at? Huh? Why y'all ostracize them? So the question is that when you talk about a nation, see, because if we done our nation thing, trust me when I tell you, all the stuff with that sickness, we wouldn't have it. See, the decisions how it's made in our neighborhood, why this here, when you ask the question, what we gonna do based on this here, if we was running our own nation within the nation, guess what? We won't have all this lawless stuff in there, because now we have codes. All of us don't want to be basketball players. All of us don't want to sing.
That's right.
That ain't no nation. That's just one part of a nation.
That's entertainment.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now. All thing we do is laugh. We joking and all. No, man. We tired of entertaining.
Right.
No. You know what I'm saying? So the question you have to understand, why? Why are we pushed to entertain the world? Why?
Okay, we're gonna get on that too in a second. They'll entertain the world. I want to let sister go ahead and speak right there. You had your hand up, sister. Come on with it.
So I think it's important because, you know, as I listen to you guys, you know, y'all drop a lot of gems. So I'm looking at y'all as like a spiritual teacher. So trying to pull in folks like myself, it's important to make sure that y'all include letting us know things like the ancestors in the Bible and knowing things like this, so we can be more drawn back to it.
Right.
That's why we're more drawn away from it, because it's like, wait, what? Like, it's just talking about God and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, so when y'all say those type of things, it's like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Right.
Right. And see, that is in our ancestors. Is talk about if the Bible, if this is an old book, okay? Now, folks will go, it was written by, you know, a white man, you know. I know all the books that you see based on all the books was written by them. When you see modern from one side of the world to the other side of the world. But here is the question. The question is not asked this. Where did they get the teaching from? Where did they get the writings from? Where did they get, who taught them? Okay? Who taught them how to understand our records? So now this is some inside stuff that we need to get together within our nation. See, because if I got your book and it's plagiarized, and I know I got your book, then I'm gonna turn and do the book. You think I'm gonna teach you the book to liberate you? That don't make no sense, do it? But I'm gonna take your records because it's so important. It's got so many directions in there that I can use this against you. Why? Because guess what? I ain't gonna never teach you that you supposed to do the law. I ain't gonna never do that to you. I ain't gonna never tell you to follow this here. I'm not gonna never tell you that you was accountable for all the mistakes that you been making. You accountable for that. If you're not thinking, not understanding that we don't supposed to have our neighborhoods like it is. Our women supposed to be a Pacific way. Our men supposed to be a Pacific way. But they teaching us that we can do anything. Be yourself. Be free. But y'all not. The other nations not. They follow laws. They follow this. They got things that they fake you out like they don't follow no laws. Yes, they do. They follow laws. This is why they in line and we are not in line. Because guess what? What's in our neighborhoods? Everything in our neighborhood. What neighborhood that you know? I tell you what, any of y'all, go out to Ladue, go out to some straight up, you find out how many mosques and churches you see out there. Find out how many in there. Find out how many different churches that you see on the corner. See, do you see a Muslim over here and a Christian church over here and a Catholic church over? See, do you see that out there? See it. You're not going to see it in their neighborhood. You're not going to see these specific things because, right, they understand to make sure that if we can keep them confused, we got them. Period.
Hey, that's basically is really true though.
And so,
You know what I'm saying? But they go back. But they go back to what? Not. But see, you can if you.
It goes. See,
it go back to the law.
But see, if you
back to the law,
go
go
back
back
to the race.
To the race, if you don't know who
you are,
right? That's
you know
my
what I'm
point.
saying?
If you don't
It
go
goes
back,
to
right,
your nationality.
right,
That's what it all leads back to.
right. So if you don't know that,
Then we got you.
then how could you teach anything? How could you understand
you don't
anything?
know who you are.
You don't know who you are.
Gotta
So
know who you are in order
so
and able to teach.
right. So now
You
that
see?
you right. So now if you don't know who you are, and you teaching this, which is a ritual.
Yeah.
So which God is you praise?
that
Is that is the question right there.
That's key part.
That's
This
the
is-
question.
This
the
is
God of the earth.
well.
When I said the God
No,
of
no, I know what you're talking about. No, 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 no.
Self.
Yeah. Oh, we all together. I know what you're talking about. I know
Let me get that right for you.
Go ahead.
Now, like I told, I don't believe anything. I think about everything.
Right.
Now, I know it's the creator.
That's right.
My personal, I call him Am. Because it don't matter if you're Muslim, Christian, Baptist, Seventh-day Adventist, what's the folks, Jehovah's Witness.
Hindu.
Why all of them say Amen at the end of the prayer? So who they praying to?
Man.
Amen. I rest my case.
Hey, you made a statement there. But I mean, if you look at it, like it's difficult. And if you read the Bible and it say, don't praise no idols, don't do this, don't do that, and you don't know who you are and what are you praising is something that been given to you. So who are you praising? Are we serving the God? You know what I'm saying? We serving our God or their God. Now they got the info. Okay, for instance, like he said, it shows you enough.
Because he just told me his God. Okay, so what do you like?
Okay.
You said your God or their God?
Right. So Amen, like he said, out of all those people, he said Amen at the end of their prayer.
Right.
Well,
It's
Amen. It's Amen. But
they say amen.
you know what I'm saying? So once they say that, that's come through the Roman, like you said, the Hindu, everybody that's whatever that is on that Christianity level. Now, this is the thing. When you're going back to nationality, back to what he said, who you are, back to what he was saying. Now, these people here, like in that time, if we say for instance you're a Hebrew, then whatever God the Hebrew was praising, are you praising that God? Are you praising the God that you've been colonized by? Because see, everywhere in the world that's been colonized by a different ethnic group of people, that's the religion that they praise. And then, like he said, Muslim, it's the youngest religion. Christianity is older than Muslim. Was before Muslim.
Catholics is the oldest.
So now, when we get up here and do all this here and talk about all this, which God are you serving?
Now, what was important, what you just said is like the Hebrews. See, let me just break this down real fast so we won't get this confused. And anybody can do their research. Hebrew only mean crossover.
True.
Okay. What crossover? A language. So we can get into some detail. We don't need another show for that one. Israel or Israelite is only identifying a last name. It's telling you the genealogy of where your forefathers come from, who they are. That's why that's in the Bible. Why you don't see any other body saying Israel or Hebrew or nothing else in the Bible identifying these specific people, because the other nations is already identified. I just read that in Psalms 83:1. So when you talk about Israel or Israelites, it only means that it's identified. Like if I say I'm a Hebrew or I'm an Israelite, it's telling me who is my forefather. Well, who is your forefather if you saying that you was Israelite? Well, my forefather was Isaac. Jacob come up out of there. That was his father. Abraham Abraham had Isaac, and Isaac had Jacob.
Right.
And I come from that lineage, period. Right. Jacob's name was transferred over to Israel because guess what? He became a nation. Because when we first went into Egypt, it was only 70 souls. So we weren't really a nation. We stayed in Egypt a while and we became a nation. And now the Most High say, now that you become a nation, your name is no longer Jacob anymore. So what happened is that we had a last name now. So just say for instance, okay, and all our names meant something. You just take my Hebrew name, Kashabah. It means love and mercy. Okay, right. Now watch this here. So what? Oh, he's an Israelite. He's from Israel, the tribe of Israel. The tribe of Israel make up 12. It was 12 brothers and some sisters. But we are talking about the men's at this moment to show you how this came. So when it comes to Hebrews or Israelites or all that is identifying who your forefathers were or are. And that's what the only thing you taking out. And like you said, we had codes, we had laws, because this was given to us to take these 10 commandments and run with them, period. And until we get back to that, those are the foundation. Everything that you talk about, you think that it'll mess up anything that you're praying, you're burning your candles, you burn them to our Creator. It's all good in the hood. See, because we done that. That's what we done. We burnt candles. We done these specific things. But what threw us off is that we started doing it to Baal. We started doing it to Satan. Each nation basically have a God. Think about it.
Right.
Think about this here. Look at the Chinese. Who is their God? Who is their God? Okay, look at the Indians. Who they God?
Got plenty arms. I forgot.
Indonesia. I forgot this, but you got about
see.
4 arms.
See. So you looking at people that actually worship an idol. Our Bible, our book tell us
Don't worship.
don't worship wood and stones. Look at Muslims. What do they worship? The Kaaba rock.
Right.
Look what the Europeans, what the first thing they had up? A cross. What was a cross made out of? Wood. So now you have to understand, is wait a minute. If our book telling us don't flow for none of that, that means something else is going on with us. We have one too. And that's the problem. People have a problem because we have a God as well. And that looked over us, been watching over us, but we don't know that. And that's what they want to keep us away from. They want to make sure that we never go back to that spiritual that we're supposed to be dealing with, that creator that we're supposed to be dealing with. That's the problem. And until we understand that, what's so bad about it? If we can go with everybody else, we can pray to Allah, we can pray to Jesus, what's wrong? Wait a minute, what's wrong with just bagging up off of? Like you did. You bagged up off of, said, you know what? This ain't getting me nowhere. So I'm gonna go into my spiritual realm on my own. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna do it like this, and some results came. But that's the first step. That show you that one thing. The Most High said, okay, this one of the ones right here that's diligent about doing right. Period.
Right.
She really, really want to know. So we're gonna go through this specific stage. The Most High said, I'm gonna show you grace. So these are grace. These are grace. Period.
Yes. And mercy. That's real. And then another thing is this here too, to add on to that, the reason why you giving law too is because what's coming ahead of you, without law, you cannot defeat it. You cannot overcome it. He giving you something special, something that he haven't given to no one else. You know what I'm saying? When he give you something that's special and it's good, you take it out and you represent it, you lead it, you stand on it, you feed others, you give it, you can't hold it in. You know what I'm saying? That's different. See, they giving you a law.
True.
And that's go back. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for B.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So you said that if the Israelites are our forefathers, how do we trace back to see which of the 12 is actually in our bloodline?
So this is the question. The 12s is different. See, the thing is, this is when your genealogy, it's in the Bible too. For you, what's happening is tell you attributes of each one of the tribes. That's the thing that a lot of people, like a lot of folks, don't want to talk about. Inside this book, it's tell you like this tribe gonna be doing this here. This how you identify. This tribe gonna be doing this here. This how you gonna identify. Yep. This over here where we at, the majority of us over here are Judah. We got some Benjamites mixed up, but majority of us is Judah. Now in the Bible, it says that Judah, when Judah rise up, the rest of the tribes gonna get down. They're gonna fall right in line. It says here's in the Bible that when everybody gonna follow Judah, which means think about it. Everything that we do, don't everybody follow us? Everything that we do, don't everybody copy us? So the attributes of each person, each brother, all of them is here in the Bible to tell you where they located at. Remember, the Most High say that you're going to be scattered in the four corners of this earth through the Pacific type of curses. The Most High told Abraham, your seed, if you can count the sand on it, that's how your seed. Count the sands on this, count the pebbles on this beach. Yeah. So that let you know it's a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? But they want to compound us like, it's just here. No. Like we or the who?
Or
just, you see what I'm saying?
Just banned to Africa.
All
started in Africa. White folks are African Americans, if you want to be technical.
Right. So to your question, now. to answer, I hope that answer your question because for like I said,
can you repeat the question so the viewers can hear it because I don't know if they heard the question, Jay.
Okay.
I had asked
how would you identify what tribe you came from?
Mm-hmm. Right. She wanted to know how you identify what tribe you from.
Yeah, that answered my question.
And he broke it down and she got the answer. But I also want y'all.
I was thinking,
Go ahead.
you know, Ancestry.com ain't gonna go back that far too.
Well,
That's a scam.
The ancestry.com is not going to, because see, they'll tell you, like some say, I have African blood and I have Portuguese blood and I have this here. Well, the question that who's doing this DNA? It's already been flawed. It's already saying rain. It's already saying, and then on top of that, it's still throwing you off your path. See, because the path is that you really
something.
see. Because if say you is going to Africa
on that wheel.
There it is.
Yeah.
Say it's taking you back to Ghana, right? Or wherever it can say
whatever they pick.
Whatever they pick, they can
And
just
wherever you going to that they pick, they is in control of that.
Now, peep this here. What folks don't understand, it's about your DNA. See, that's the hidden thing under it. Just to take your DNA. That's what they really want. That's what this is about. This ain't about trying to find out who your people in Africa. This is about taking your DNA so I can control this situation that's going on in you. That's what it's about. It ain't about going back to find somebody in Africa. Come on now. For real, you got to start thinking. You have to understand these people are very, very crafty. Very, very crafty. And like what you said earlier about the space, we still at the finish line.
They at the finish line, and we just still starting the race.
Yeah, we started like this. We still at start.
So the question, that's another thing to throw us off, to not go into identifying who we are according to the Bible. Because people, I know it's hard, and I know it's hard for a lot of us to believe it because we've been taught wrong. But I guarantee you, if you go and you just start off with the 10 Commandments, fruits of the spirits, and you just start off with that, I guarantee you that it'll take you into the place. But you gotta be 100 with it. Don't worry about what you know at this specific point. Just start off right there and then take it from that specific point. And I tell you what, try to see how hard it is to put your house in order, because that's what it's gonna do. Now the challenge is gonna come to you for real.
That's real.
See, and that is the thing.
Order
now
brings challenge.
Now we just flowing, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about really anything but just taking care of our business, showing love to people that we can show love to. But it's deeper than that. It's more than that. Do you constantly want to work for somebody all your life?
Right.
Don't you think that you able to run a nation? Oh, and the question I'm asking. Don't you think can we run a nation? Can we run a city? Can we run this world? That is the question you ought to ask yourself. And the question is, it's like, how come we can help everybody else run the world and help everybody else do everything? And only thing they do is just kick us and throw us down and shoot our people. Why? Ask that question to yourself. Something missing. Something is not. We need protection, and we need spiritual protection.
You say what?
On everything.
What's not connected? Right, and what's not connecting is go back to what we've been saying. It seems difficult, and I know people get tired of just saying it. But the problem is, I know it. But you ain't got no law. You don't have no structure, no discipline, no order. Just like he said, when it come to order, when you start placing order in your home, watch how everything get all off course. Don't know about them. Go ahead.
Check out this example. If I was to go out here right now and go 100 miles an hour down the highway, what I'm gonna get a ticket for? Breaking the law.
Exactly. Go ahead, my sister.
I have an ad. Since we keep talking about the law, can the next 10 episodes be about each commitment, each episode, and we explain each one?
Right, we will. Yeah, we will. Oh no, we will do that. We will do that. And listen, right. Listen. Right. She said The next show, we're gonna start breaking down. Each show, we're gonna break down one law. Each show. You know what I'm saying? It's 10 laws. We're gonna break those down. We're gonna break these universal laws down. But what I want to let y'all further know, though, this is very important and very unique. This is something that we totally missing. You know what I'm saying? We can break the laws down. We can read the laws. We can get every definition of the word of the laws. But if it don't build character in you, you clearly still don't understand the law. Because the law gonna set order in your home. It's gonna set direction, order in your life. It gonna the people, and then it gonna bring you closer to the higher power. Then when you get closer to the higher power, the saddest and the dangerous part about this, the most dangerous part about this, I'm serious, this is the dangerous part. Once you get close to the higher power, you're going to be able to see people for who they are. I don't care about their finance. I don't care about their cleverness. I don't care about their goodness. I don't care about the gifts. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about your position, your ranking. The higher power going to show you who they are. It's going to show you what the world is. It's going to show you all about it. So you might look at your neighbor that you've been loving all your life, and one day you're going to look at that neighbor and say, I don't want to do this no more. And see, that's right. That's the thing.
See, but that's why I only speak for myself, but that's why I want to be educated on the Ten Commandments, because the things that you're saying now, again, that's things that I'm already experienced, seeing my neighbor, getting closer to God.
Yeah, it's gonna show you.
So
it's gonna show you.
Now I wanna see how was I able. I want to see how I align.
Yeah,
things that I'm already spiritually going through. And
yeah,
how I align with these laws.
See, it's
God is speaking to you.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? God,
Personally.
God is giving you the vision and
personally,
and you allow you to see clearly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What you able to see it, you able to see what your purpose is, and you able to define everything that's
right.
to you.
Now,
So
this, go ahead.
You don't need to seek understanding and break down everything, because God has put it in you for
you
you
on the
to
path.
understand.
You got you on your path. And then another thing is this here. Right, yeah, right. She's gonna be able to study more. She's gonna be able to study more, and with everybody here, you know what I'm saying? Especially, I know you be on the road, but I know when you come in, we'll be able to get on that topic. You know what I'm saying? I know you're gonna be around. We'll be able to, you know what I'm saying? Even try to get with us and we could just do something. I know you're gonna be around. You know, we know he's gonna be on the road. We don't know when you're gonna duck out and come back in. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get, yes, ma'am.
So what's the first law that you'll discuss on the next show? Is it an order? Or is it,
yes.
Is it an order?
Thou should not have no other gods before me. That should be the first one.
Okay, well,
that's a good way to start.
That's a good way to start.
You know what? I agree.
I agree. And then another thing is this here. Another thing is this here. This is how the higher power gonna work with you. I ain't gonna say that. I don't wanna. I'm just gonna say this here.
You know what? Excuse me. That is the first law. What he just said. That's the first one coming out. That's the first one coming out. Thou shalt not have no gods over me.
It makes sense.
That's the first one starts just to come out, and that just goes to show you how our minds moves. How it goes. The first one what he just said.
Because you know why? We praising idols. We praising dollar bills.
That's the step.
We praising things. We praising things that cannot even get you nowhere.
I know that.
You know what I'm saying? The most thing, I want y'all to, I want everybody that's listening and watching. I want everybody that's looking and listening. Right. Are you right? But I want you to hear. Are you right? You right. I want to say this here right quick though. Right. Okay, but check this out. Check this out though. For everything that you praise, that you idolize today in your life, can it bring you peace? You can have whatever you want to have, how much you want to have. And the first thing a person say, when they get to the top, I don't want to be lonely. So that means it ain't bringing you peace. If it cannot bring you peace, it cannot bring you a clear vision. It will keep you separated from the higher power. Now, once the higher power gives you peace and your light is on, this is what I want to tell people. See, people do a lot of talking. They talk very educated. They talk all over the world. But when the higher power is not speaking through you and you're speaking through an education or slingulation of words and definitions, guess what? The soul in someone that's connected to the higher power can tell that you are empty. When you are speaking empty, guess what? You'll send somebody right to their grave. See, you don't speak life. If you read the Bible carefully and go all through the Bible, when certain people speak and when they say certain things and when they talk about Jesus and they talk about the spirit with the higher power, it spoke and showed life. So when you're having a conversation with someone and they're not speaking life into you, that's a dead conversation. So what I want to say today is, I thank the higher power for blessing us to be in this position, especially me to be with this type of energy and frequency, and I love every bit of it. But before we close, I want my sister to let us know the time and date. Everybody that's in St. Louis, surrounding cities, I want y'all to, you ain't even got to come out. Post on your page, even pull up at a McDonald's, any fast food, any low-wage job, it doesn't matter. Put up at the job and let them know. Thumbs up for $15 an hour, $7 an hour. So you better go fight for $15 an hour, at least get something out of that. So I want sister let us know today, because JY did it. We'll be out there. JX will be out there with the brain chamber. I will be there. Sis, let us know the date and time can take. How it's going down. Okay.
On the 19th, May 19th, yeah, it's public. Decided to go out on strike May 19th. And they'll be out at the McDonald's on South Kings Highway. So, like we said, come join, post on social media, however you can support. Just support.
We need all representatives to be out there on social media and everywhere across the globe, May 19th. You know what I'm saying? 12 p.m. We're on what? Kings Highway. We're shutting down Kings Highway. JX will be out there. Jay's Brain Chamber will be out there representing. We worked on that campaign. We all stand for justice, righteousness. Everybody under one law, one umbrella, one higher power. May God bless you all. Peace.
Peace, peace.
You ain't gonna shout out the new brain chamber?
And also, new brain chamber. It's so much of a blessing. We ain't got a chance to really get on that topic yet. We're gonna get on that topic yet on the blessing, because we're gonna show the blessing and appreciate the blessing, so other individuals could experience and learn and grow from the blessing.